Welcome back. Let's give you some business news now. Old Mutual says business was not bad at all in the first half of its financial year. The group reported a 38% rise in profits, increasing sales for its life cover products. Life insurance sales rose 6% to 6.6 billion rand, and gross written premiums were up 9% in the period. Now, adjusted headline earnings for the 6 months to end June also grew by about 3% to 3.2 billion rand. Now, this was supported by a 14% increase in shareholder investment returns. Old Mutual says it will also join the hotly contested South African banking sector, unveiling a new banking offering in the first quarter of 2025. For more on this, we're joined by Casper, Troskie, Old Mutual Group Chief Financial Officer. What was your assessment of the South African consumer household and just the consumer itself in terms of business in the first half of the year?
Yes, conditions have been fairly tough. We were hoping for interest rates to move lower a little bit earlier than they have. They were cut last week. And we are now seeing that fuel prices have dropped a little bit. We've seen the first interest rate cuts. We've seen inflation come down a little bit. So hopefully the significant pressure on consumers that we've seen in the first half will improve as we go into the second half. So, in our business, where we've seen pressure because of your consumers struggling is in persistency in our life business. So our persistency was higher than our expectation. And then we've also seen higher impairments in our mutual finance lending business in the first 6 months. But with some improving trends towards the end of the 6 months and into July and August.
When you talk about impairments, is this consumers or customers, clients skipping their premiums if they're feeling a bit financially under pressure?
Yeah, so when I talk about persistency, that's exactly what I'm referring to. So people skipping their payments on their insurance policy. And then on the credit impairments, those are more related to the actual loans that we provide to clients, where they are not then repaying those loans as and when they are due.
You talk about a tough period, but how were you able then to attract a business in terms of the life insurance space? Did you surpass some of your own targets there?
In the South African business, which is where we saw our adjusted headline earnings being up 3%, that's where we saw a lot of the pressure. If you look at our headline earnings numbers, those do include the result of Zimbabwe, which were benefited from foreign exchange gains in our banking operation in Zimbabwe. So you need to be careful when you look at the actual headline earnings numbers, because they do contain quite large profits from our Zimbabwe business, and especially the banking business.
Now, Old Mutual is the insurer that had the most client complaints in South Africa. Now, this was according to a report done by the Ombudsman for long-term insurance and the Ombudsman for short-term insurance. Is this something that you're trying to fix in terms of making sure that you can serve the client far better? Because, of course, you do have the numbers, but you also still have to control the service kind of the business.
Yes, obviously, it's one of the critical things that we do monitor, and we have seen an improvements in the various metrics that we track. So our net promoter scores, our net effort scores, our complaints, we monitor that on an ongoing basis. We report that through our various committees and to our board, and we make sure that the appropriate action is taken. So hopefully, yes, we are seeing an improvement in those statistics.
Now, Old Mutual has said before that their WhatsApp line can handle around 600,000 clients at a go. In terms of the two-pot retirement system, what kind of response have you seen there from clients? Is there a lot of interest, and are you seeing a lot of withdrawals?
Yes, with two pots, we decided to, just because of the size of the volumes that we were expecting, we decided to go mainly using digital channels. And with that, our WhatsApp platform was one of the methods we used. So we've seen about 125,000 applications by our WhatsApp platform, and we had actually no system issues on that, and that equated to about 1.7 billion in claim amounts. And we've now commenced processing of these claims, and will provide updates as these claims are paid.
And in terms of those payments, just how long does it take from application to a consumer getting the money in their account? Because some have complained online to say, I've applied, it's taking a little over a week. How much have you put there in terms of the turnaround time?
Yeah, so we had a phased approach to the two pots. So we, from the 2nd to the 15th of September, we wanted clients to go onto the channel on WhatsApp and update, firstly check their balances, the vested, the savings and the retirement pots. And we also allowed customers to update their personal details, ensure that the tax affairs are in order. So the most important step in this whole process is that once you've made the application, we need to have a SARS directive process before we can pay out any funds. So, and it was always our intention to start paying out from the 23rd of September. So, as soon as the actual application is in, the tax has been resolved, we're allowed to pay out the amounts. We are not allowed to pay out amounts unless we've received a tax directive.
Now, Casper, there was some other interesting news from Old Mutual today, deciding to take the plunge, getting into the banking sector in 2025, highly competitive space in South Africa. How will your offering be different from the banks we already have?
Just to note that we already have a banking or transactional offering in the form of money accounts. But what we are doing is we're really launching a digital first bank with very modern and flexible technology. We will be focusing on our existing client base. So, customers that we already have. We have about 6 million customers in South Africa. And we see the bank as a critical part of our integrated financial services strategy, where we are looking to be providing a holistic offering to our clients. So the banking offering will form part of our existing rewards that we have, and we'll be making sure that we integrate banking clients into the rest of the Old Mutual ecosystem, and vice versa. So hopefully we're not starting from a standing start.
Casper, Troskie, thank you very much for joining us, the Chief Financial Officer there of Old Mutual, speaking around the company's results. On the market, Old Mutual up in positive territory as they release results. The markets, of course, in the green, are spurred on by that Chinese stimulus.